Long before they became icons of disco and kings of falsetto, the Bee Gees were three brothers from the Isle of Man, raised in Australia, with nothing more than harmonies and heart. Barry, Robin, and Maurice Gibb weren't overnight sensations. Their journey to global superstardom was filled with quiet beginnings, painful losses, reinventions, and moments of sheer brilliance that would eventually lead to some of the most beloved songs in music history. But behind the shimmering lights and chart-topping hits lies an untold story, a tale of family, resilience, and a creative force that was never meant to be ordinary. Their early days were humble. The Gibb brothers began singing together as children, performing in local clubs and on radio stations across Australia. Their voices, when combined, had a haunting beauty, something ethereal, something timeless. That bond, both musical and familial, would become their greatest strength. But success didn't come easily. They returned to England in the mid-1960s to chase their dreams, armed with a few songs and a lot of hope. They were signed to a record label and released a string of early hits that showcased their harmonies and poetic lyrics. Songs like To Love Somebody and Massachusetts hinted at their potential, but the world hadn't seen anything yet. Then came the 1970s. At a time when rock ruled and disco was still finding its feet, the Bee Gees made a bold pivot. Inspired by soul, rhythm, and blues, and the emerging dance sound of the era, they reinvented their music. The change wasn't just strategic. It was instinctive. Barry discovered the power of his falsetto, and the trio leaned into a sound that felt both fresh and unforgettable. What followed was an explosion of hits that defined an entire generation. Stay Alive, How Deep Is Your Love, Night Fever, and More Than a Woman weren't just songs. They were cultural phenomena. Their involvement with the Saturday Night Fever soundtrack catapulted them to unprecedented fame. The album became one of the best-selling soundtracks of all time, and the Bee Gees, once seen as folk pop singers, became the faces of a musical revolution. But while the world danced to their music, behind the scenes, the brothers were battling their own storms. Fame took a toll. The pressure to constantly produce hits, the scrutiny of the public eye, and the natural tensions that can arise between siblings began to wear them down. Robin left the group briefly. Maurice struggled with personal demons. And though Barry often served as a frontman, the weight of leading a global phenomenon wasn't easy to carry. Yet through it all, they kept creating. Their music evolved, adapting to times without ever losing the essence of what made them special. What makes the Bee Gees' story remarkable isn't just the records they broke or the awards they won. It's their endurance. Long after the peak of the disco era, they continued to write and produce for other artists, penning hits for Dionne Warwick, Barbra Streisand, and Kenny Rogers, among many others. Even as musical trends shifted, their songwriting remained timeless. Tragically, Maurice passed away in 2003, and Robin in 2012. Today, Barry Gibb carries the torch of their legacy, often reflecting on the power of their music and the unbreakable bond of brotherhood. The Bee Gees didn't just give the world dance anthems. They gave it stories of love, loss, longing, and hope, all wrapped in harmonies that could send shivers down your spine. The untold story behind their greatest hits is one of transformation, loyalty, and the sheer will to evolve without ever forgetting where they came from. In every note they sang, there was unity. In every lyric they wrote, there was truth. And in every record they broke, there was the echo of three brothers who believed that music could do more than entertain, it could endure.